Yeah, we are live, Connor.
Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. Good day, everybody. Welcome to the SCP Insider Show here in Santa Clarita. SCP is for Santa Clarita Valley. Today's August 29th, 2023. You have Connor MacIvor, Tim Blankenship to my right, I think, and he's here. Divorce 661, and I'm Fat Fit Realtor. How are you, Tim? What's going on?
I'm doing well. You like how we did that this morning? We're just in the middle of a conversation. I just hit go live.
And you did, and I went right with it. So I said, we'll talk later.
Exactly.
Oh,
So
my God. I think, well, there's hurricanes going everywhere. Oh, and then the show that we had, the biggest rainstorm of the century in Southern California, never had a tropical storm, and then an earthquake thrown on top. I think everybody's talking about that.
Did you feel it?
Yeah, I did. The house shook a little bit. I was sitting, where was I sitting? Right outside the kitchen, and it started going. I'm thinking, yeah, there's really no time to run anywhere, so I'm just going to sit it out.
Yeah, it was interesting. We haven't had one that we've actually felt in a long time, and I was just sitting watching TV, and it's probably why I noticed that you kind of felt that little roll, right? Then it kind of gets your attention. You look up and see the lamp shaking and the things moving. I was like, oh shit, we're having an earthquake in the middle of a storm.
Right. And you start, and I always, whenever that happens, I always think, God, what if it gets really, really bad? And then I'm thinking, where can I position my house so the house doesn't collapse on me, and so on. I don't know if you run through those scenarios too.
No, not. The question becomes: was that the big one, or was that a prelude to a bigger one? Right? Because there was a start and an end. Is what, maybe 30 seconds, 45 seconds, a little bit of rolling.
Sure.
And then I didn't feel anything after that, but apparently there was 100 aftershocks.
Oh my God, I didn't see it.
After that, there was 20 aftershocks. So they came in at a 5.1. I did the research on it. And then there's 20 immediate 3.0 plus aftershocks in the 30 to 45 minutes after that. And interesting enough, I was like, why are we having an earthquake during a hurricane? And if you look it up, apparently the low pressure that comes in from a hurricane, that drastic low pressure difference, can cause downward pressure on the plates and cause an earthquake.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Did not know that.
Yeah. When you do the downward pressure, how they do it when they do the news, you got to do the hand signals.
Yeah. And then you have to talk about the cone. Cone, because they travel in a cone, and the cone, I guess, from yesterday is 66% of the hurricane, or the weather pattern that's coming through. The cone, I guess, has to do with only 66% of it, so it can also go outside the cone in other areas. But when they talk about the cone at 66%, why that's stuck in my brain from yesterday, I have no idea. But there you go. There's 66. I'm thinking maybe 6, and then add another 6. And then you got Revelation, Mark of the Beast into the world, and then we're all going to die.
Makes sense.
Maybe.
Yeah, but definitely interesting. It was just funny because I didn't know that could actually happen. I don't know why my music's still playing here. But I would even say when it would get really hot and then one day it would be really cold, I say, oh, this is earthquake weather. And I don't know. I made that up completely, but it is now true.
That's right. So when it does rain, that low pressure actually does press on the tectonic plates.
Yeah, I don't know the exact science behind it, but yeah, the low pressure, dramatic low pressure event can cause our particular plates are not thrust plates. They're, what'd you call it? They go
tectonic.
Like this. Yeah. Tectonic. So that's what this is when you get the rolling. And this is when you get the violent. Bad. Yeah, I think that was the Northridge was a slip.
Right, that's why it was so devastating. So that's when two plates are pressing so hard, and then
Yeah, exactly.
Did you like the Good.
So yeah, that was interesting. And that was what I think it happened. Peru? Is that where it was?
Yeah, I guess the center was 1 and some odd miles away from Peru Center.
Yeah. So
I don't know what else happens in Peru.
No,
I just read Peru and it came with something else. Hold on, I gotta find
What's new in the real estate world these days?
Inventory is still very low, and it's only because so many people are locked in at these super low interest rates, the
Yeah.
2.9 and 3.5. But the biggest question I get is, what's going to happen to the market next year, the year after, and is now really a good time to buy if I can buy something. And I had a conversation with a young cat yesterday, great kid. Uh, I don't mean to insult him by calling kid. He's running his own business and everything, but I'm mid-50s, so I think everybody's kind of a kid at this point, and I have the right, I think. But good guy, right? He's locked on, okay? He's renting right now. He's living with a few roommates. And what's nice about him, and number one, you talk to him, and this is one of those people you say, well, my God, his parents did a good job. And you can tell he's just out there and he's thinking of all of his options. And his questions to me are things like, give me the things that I should be looking for as I move into this real estate thing. And I said, well, future value is difficult to determine, but what you can do to determine what might be happening is look at the way the financial end of the real estate world is functioning. And right now it's incredibly tight. And for somebody to get a home loan, they have to provide so much information, and that information is double checked and triple checked throughout the entire escrow process as well. So not only do they have to be super approved up front, run it through all these different systems, and people are still writing approval letters that aren't really grounded on any kind of fact, just off of a simple phone conversation, no documents or paperwork were looked at anyway. That still happens, but it's so rare now, because before, when the market was moving a lot, I don't want to say faster, but there was more to choose from. There was a little bit more room for people to kind of maneuver. Now, if you're a lender and you have a client, because there's multiple offers on real estate, and your client's one of those offers, if you don't have everything lined up, that agent that has that listing is going to just probably move on to somebody else. And he asked me, he said, what would you do? And I said, well, you're going to have to look at your whole profile. I said, number one, do you do your taxes? He said, no, I got somebody that does it. I said, great. And as a business, maybe might need a co-signer at some point, just depends on what he's reporting. But then the question of the CPA is, with the mortgage interest deduction, which is still allowed, thank God, what does that look like in comparison to my rent? If I buy something at $400,000, where does that line up? And then what's my benefit per year? What does that look like on paper? And so he's going to do his due diligence on that. And that's really where we are. But trying to find properties, we were looking yesterday under 400,000. There's really not much unless you're looking. Remember the Canyon View Estates, those manufactured homes up on the hill. So those are high threes now.
Yeah.
Tough to get a loan because the land is all leased. They're all locked into a 99-year leasehold estate, and so it's hard to. Those are the lending is difficult on those. It's still possible, but back to just regular townhome condos, Plum Canyon and Bouquet Canyon. That's probably the least expensive currently on the market out here in Santa Clarita, and they're just under 4.
Yeah.
And this is 2-bedroom, 1-bath, 800 square feet. And those don't have garages. They have carports, if memory serves. So that's the price of admission out here in Santa Clarita. And I said, just do the numbers. And if it makes sense, we'll step forward. But again, the other thing too is maybe with the business, he might be able to move it into the property or into a garage. This one doesn't have a garage, so it's not going to work. But if there's a garage, depending on the type of business, maybe the business owner could save whatever he's paying for rent elsewhere. So it's not easy like it used to be, where somebody come, I want to buy a house, you go, you get it, you find the house, get them in escrow, and you close it. There's just a lot more questions up front. And I think it's the news feed. I think it's what's really prevalent in the world. A lot of people are asking these questions, where's the market going to go? And it has been a long time since we've had the market fall apart. And it's a 10-year cycle, and we're way over that if you look at historical things from the past regarding, when these cycles come and go. We've been high for quite a while.
Yeah.
But I don't see it breaking anytime soon. You got the financial aspect locked up. I think last show we talked about 65% of the houses out there owned free and clear. The rest are on mortgages.
Yeah, that was still impressive.
A little shock. Yeah, I was. Yeah. So there's a lot of equity in this market. A lot of people are. I mean, you have a 3% interest rate on your house, or 3.2 or whatever. You're never going to get that again the question sellers have, why would I sell this to go get something else? So they'll do some suffrage, even if they're outgrowing it with the family. But then, why not maybe rent that one and maybe try to go buy something else at that point? So I get a lot of those questions too. Can we take money out on this house for the down payment on the next one and then rent it out? It happens.
What's interesting is that interest rates haven't impacted housing prices. I don't know if that's part of the inflation they're trying to handle, but the interest rates, it still hasn't brought down prices at all. Cost of housing increased considerably, and I think just watching over the weekend that Powell is talking about one or two more rate hikes.
Mm-hmm. And that's going to impact the market quite a bit. The other thing that this is the danger that's going to come in. The danger is going to be if new housing is able to get what they want. That includes the supply as far as the construction materials. The permits are pretty much, they're being given because we have this big lack of housing.
Yeah.
There's this element, the housing element, which is, I've tried to read through this thing. It's complicated, but basically it's an approval process for housing and larger developments out here. And then they have these, Jason Crawford talked about it in the Signal, but these are all purposed to start new housing, new construction sites. If that market, the new housing, Tim, if it ever overruns where we currently are, we could have another a reset, or I even hate that word. The guy I was talking to yesterday didn't like that word either. But it could cause the market to pause if they actually engage in overbuilding, which because they don't have the supply as far as the construction materials because of the COVID issue. Yeah. It's still now coming back. We have the third realm, the third variant. So that could still pause it. But if they ever catch up, they could overrun the market and overbuild and cause the prices to come down.
Huh. Did you hear about the New Zealand study, what they're calling upzoning?
No.
So I read this over the weekend, and they're basically following. So New Zealand has some of the most expensive real estate, and don't quote me on the stats here, but in the last year, like in a 3-year period, their real estate prices literally doubled. And then the most recent year, it's increased by another 50%. So it's incredibly pricey and has gone up considerably. So what they did is they did this upzoning where you could make properties multifamily. You could have condos, townhomes that were on once considered single family homes. You could turn them into multifamily for zoning purposes.
See what you're saying. Yeah. So they did a lot of that in Venice. Remember that? You were on the job back then on Venice. Yeah. They started taking the single family residences, and they would build these large lots and put 3 or 4 stories there.
Yeah. Yeah. So they're talking about doing that they're following this study and how it was effective in bringing down home prices because there's more availability of houses, and the prices, were less expensive for multifamily condos, townhomes versus single family. So I thought this was interesting. I think they did this a bit. They tried to roll this out here. I don't know if it was under this plan, but I know the HOAs shut that down out here in Santa Clarita, where you could turn your garage into a rental unit or have put another, what do they call it?
Another story, maybe.
Yeah, or something in your backyard if you had the space. What were they calling those? AUDs, yeah. Mm-hmm. So
additional dwelling unit.
Yeah.
No, ADUs.
Yeah, I know our HOA.
I'm thinking IUD, and I'm thinking, what was that? Is that how much is that?
I know our HOA shut that down. I think the city did as well, just as a whole.
Yeah, I haven't heard of many of those getting approved lately, but it also hasn't really been talked about. I guess it was a hot topic for a moment. Yeah. But yeah, it'll be like a Demolition Man, was it Demolition Man? No, what was the other one? Judge Dredd, when they were all living in these massive mega cities.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's where we're going to be. That'll be exciting. Then we can go take a long walk on the scorched earth as our end moment, and then we'll run into those cannibals, and it'll be horrible.
Yep.
And inventory, just back to real estate, one more thing. We're about 230 units active and for sale in Santa Clarita Valley.
Yep.
We would need, the question was asked, what would we need to change the market into a buyer's market? We would probably need 6 times that amount of active inventory.
Really?
And then it would probably cause a switch. So we would need over 1,000 active units here in Santa Clarita to really do a switch. And I only know that because our absorption rate numbers, with the rate it would take for us to get to zero inventory, if the current timeline of consumption, the way people are buying houses now, we're just about 2-3 weeks from getting to zero if nothing new is added to the market. That's the absorption rate. A healthy market, a balanced market, is about 6 months. So we're way far from that happening.
Where are people? We always say when we see like someone selling maybe their 2,500 square foot house, right, for 1.1, whatever it is, 950.
Yeah.
Where are they moving to? Are they moving up? Are they moving out of state? Do you know?
There's quite a few of them are trying to do some kind of an exchange if they can, depending on what the property is. But most of them are actually leaving the state. So a lot of the people I'm running to, it seems to be, wow, the lights went off. It seems to be that I need to pay the bill. The state is the one, excuse me, they're actually purchasing to leave the state, a lot of them. And as far as the move up, a lot of those, and this is interesting. So if they have that kind of house, they're usually maybe looking at new housing, and up in Tesoro or buying something big and new is what kind of they have their sights on. But those, a lot of those houses haven't been built, and they're probably 8, 10, 12 months away from being finished, depending on, where they're looking out here. But some of them are going there, but I think a majority of them are leaving the state when they're doing that up move, especially from the square footage you're talking about, because you're talking about a pretty big house, 2,500 to 2,500 square feet, 3 to 4 bedroom. A lot of those particular sellers now are leaving job relocation, getting out of the state, and they're doing it because there's really nothing else for them here.
Yeah.
So they're moving out.
Yeah, we were going to talk about some crime stuff. We also had I wanted to share this with you. I think this is part of the epidemic with the crime. Is on the Business Insider, that 2,400 stores are closing across the U.S. and I know we're seeing that here in Santa Clarita.
Yes.
I think our Rite Aid down the street on Decorah is closing at the end of this month.
Oh yeah, it is, isn't it? Do you think that's right. I heard that.
So, and this is talking about is breaking it down, and these are major retailers. Bed Bath Beyond, 896 stores. I guess they filed for bankruptcy, so I guess that makes sense. 545 Foot Locker stores are closing across the U.S. Tuesday morning. I haven't heard of that. Have you? 487 stores.
Is that a donut place?
I don't know. I'm sure. I don't know what that is. Walgreens, 150 stores closing. Christmas.
Just to let you know, if I don't know the answer to something, I'm going to say donut.
Yeah, donut. Yeah.
I love donuts.
Bath and Body Works, 50 stores. This is like a mall store, right? Bath Body Works.
Right.
Have you been in our mall lately? We haven't been in probably a year, but we walked through because we were going to go over to what's that barbecue place, Lucille's.
Right.
A couple of weeks ago, we just walked through, and there's shops that are boarded up, and we ask ourselves, why would we come to the mall for shopping aside from Macy's, which gets robbed or burglarized once a week now? Why are we even going to the malls? And it's probably why I think a couple of months ago we talked about the fact that Westfield is thinking of closing up the mall entirely.
Well, and those food places, I think, are about the only thing keeping that mall alive.
Seriously.
That's still, because when the other day, and to answer your question, not very often, but I break these screens. So I go to Zag, and like once you buy a Zag screen cover, if you break it or it breaks, you go in and they just replace it for whatever, $8 or something.
Oh, really?
So the other day I went in there walking through, and I know it was early, 11:30, but I was surprised at how vacant it really was.
Yeah.
And just like you said, how many different stores have been closed. The food market or the food area, loaded. But once you got out there in the middle of the mall, I mean, there didn't seem to be much of anything.
And you see
it's going the
people
way of
walking,
Amazon.
and the people you do see are walking. They're not really shopping.
Right. Yeah, they're trying to get fit in the mall.
Party Cities closing 22 stores. Walmart 23 stores. Best Buy. That's surprising.
Wow, that's interesting. Yeah.
That's surprising. Electronics giant said it plans to close 20 to 30 of its large format stores.
I wonder if a lot of this may be insurance driven, because you got people going in taking a whole bunch of crap. They're probably going back to their insurance and saying, "Hey, you got to replenish this," and they're like, "Forget it."
Yeah. Well, you're talking about Nordstrom's closing in San Francisco, which makes sense. They just, that's been a staple there, and now they're just closing up shop.
Yeah, and like you said, the Rite Aid over on Decorah and McBean, that's the one going. I wonder if the Walgreens up there on Copper Hill, because I hardly ever see anybody up there. Yeah. Copper Hill and Haskell. You ever seen that one? I don't know. I was living up there for a bit, but yeah, it's definitely
a lot of closures.
Yeah, it's going to go the way of online, right?
What's that?
Yeah, it's going to go. Everything's going online.
If we're any example
indicator,
indicator, right? We go to Amazon first for everything. I think the only thing I don't buy is clothes. Get our shoes from Zappos. I mean, you can get 3 pairs shipped to you, and you can send 2 back, and there's no cost for that. We went to Macy's. Elia needed some shoes, some heels, so she goes to Macy's and to the women's area where the shoes are, and half the wall where normally would be, they'd have the shoes on display. There's no shoes. It was just empty wall space in there. So we went home, and she ordered a couple pair on Zappos, and kept 1, returned 2, and I don't know if that's because of thefts there, or I know there's complaints while we're waiting in line at the one register. People who I guess frequent
one register.
Yeah, the people that frequent Macy's more often than we do. They were saying how there's just no employees anymore, and you can't get help, and that's why the one register is open, like on the whole floor of Macy's.
So they have a hiring problem.
Yeah, or who knows what's going on.
Yeah. Wow.
All right, so we're ready for some crime.
Yeah, I wanted to hear about. I want to hear about this. I'm excited. I like our crime segment.
Here's the good news. I was doing research on crime in Santa Clarita last week, and here's the good news: that in Santa Clarita, the majority or bulk of arrests were drug related and not major crime related.
Huh.
So that, for I don't know if we'd be considered a big city, but we're 200,000-300,000 people, so definitely. We're not the San Fernando Valley and have that crime rate, but of the arrests were 16 drug-related arrests, 10 for DUI, 2 for possession of drugs and alcohol, and then there's some petty crimes that went along with that. But for a week in Santa Clarita, overall that's
not
pretty
bad
good.
At all.
No, so we have some good news there.
The marijuana for sale is interesting. I bet you people, because there's no local marijuana dispensary out here, so I bet you people are kind of. I bet you under the radar, you could probably find it out here if you try it.
I wonder if these are people that maybe own the shops in the valley, and then they come out here and deliver it or whatever.
Well, delivering that's legal, right?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, so they can deliver it, but maybe they're selling out of the trunk of the car. Hey, you want something extra? You want a watch? You want to buy a watch?
Exactly.
I like it. Yeah, that's really good though. You're exactly right to have the size that we are, but to have the majority of arrests be, not the DUI and stuff is great, but it's a lot better than murder and mayhem. Not that you couldn't kill somebody in a car, but
no, for sure.
At least they're catching them before, it looks like.
Yeah, here's the sheet metal theft. Looks like a little pursuit ensued.
Yeah.
Got
drove the victim's vehicle.
What I haven't heard in a while is the carburetor theft.
Oh, the catalytic converter?
Catalytic converters. I don't know why I say that every time. But it's that comes and goes big time. I haven't seen that pop up on the Nextdoor app or anything, at least this week. maybe the last couple of
Well,
weeks.
probably because there's not many cars left that have catalytic converters worth anything. These are the older Corollas, Camrys, Hondas. It's hard to see those cars anymore. Most everything's a Tesla, it looks like.
Yeah. I guess that's one
Everybody's-
benefit. They don't have a catalytic converter, huh?
Yeah. God, they're awful. They're awful fast. I don't. Have you driven in one of those?
I've been in one just this weekend in an Uber, but other than that, I have not.
It's almost too much, I think, for people. I mean, it's a lot of power.
Yeah.
It's scary fast. I mean, they're outrunning Lamborghinis. Well, I don't know, but their 0 to 60 is crazy.
Yeah.
3 seconds.
I think
I
that's
don't
the
even think a
performance one. We've
motorcycle-
actually been looking at those.
Oh,
Yeah, I think the normal one, single motor, is like 5.9 seconds, and the dual motor performance are that 3 second.
that's
0-60.
crazy. I mean,
Yeah.
that's too much.
Yeah.
I think the Kawasaki 650 that I have is too much. Like, wow, I'm doing 80 miles an hour. It's crazy.
Kane.
Kane. Oh, that was good.
Have you seen that guy
I've been
riding on a
watching.
motorcycle talking to his motorcycle lately on YouTube?
Kane likes it when you give him a comment. Yeah, I don't know. I there's something wrong with me, but it's good.
So here's some bad news, Connor. I don't know if you ever go to the district attorney's site. They have a news media release site. So I was doing some searching this morning, and this came up.
Okay.
Basically, to sum it up, an off-duty county sheriff's department officer is being charged with attempting to cover up a patrol vehicle crash of an another off-duty officer.
Okay.
They both were SEB, was that Special Enforcement Bureau, so they probably knew each other.
Oh yeah.
But he tried to cover up the fact that it was a collision, driving under the influence. And now this officer, this deputy rather, who is being charged, I mean, they're really lighting him up with all kinds of charges. Let me see if I can find what they charged him for. I was reading it this morning, but it wasn't just the lying during the investigation, but it was like 5 other charges. Let me see if I can find out where all those charges. Like, they really,
ranch, of course.
you can burglarize a business and they won't even look for you. But if you're an officer or deputy and you have to do a misdemeanor, they'll add tack on 5 other charges to you.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So let's see. An off-duty sheriff's deputy
Ranch.
crashed Mark SUV.
Yeah.
Allegedly driving under the influence. Crash occurred in Stevenson Ranch, Santa Clarita Valley, Los Angeles County. Davis arrived, pulled his fellow's deputy limp body out of the crashed SUV and placed him in the vehicle of his fellow's deputy's wife, who drove him home. Oh, this was a long time ago.
No,
that crash. It happened.
I thought
22.
Do you see it where it says 22?
Yeah, right before.
This was just
That
reported.
was that crash. We talked about.
We talked about that.
Long time ago.
Yeah, we talked about that.
Wow,
And
that's cute.
so, but this is what they're getting him for: 1 felony count of conspiracy to obstruct justice, 1 misdemeanor count of giving false information to a peace officer, and 3 misdemeanor counts of delaying and or obstructing an investigation. And he's going to surrender. Wait, it just happened, September 27th, or no, next month, September.
Oh yeah, September. So he's got 30 days to find a new place to live.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
And that what is this? Not that it was a good deed, but that's definitely no attempted good deed goes unpunished, trying to cover up for your buddy. Because the person who was in the accident, deputy who's in the accident, probably doing less. He probably got suspended.
Right.
But working the desk, and this guy's going to jail.
They weren't. There was nobody injured. If I remember this, he ran off the road.
Yeah.
Up into that little. There was because I was staying over there at that time. There was a it was like a little park or like a little corner area without houses on it. It was the Stevenson Ranch, like a Stevenson Ranch sign, not the.
Mm-hmm.
But God, I remember. I think nobody was injured, just him, right?
Yeah. If that's the same accident, yeah.
Yeah, he just ran off. And they had a deputy posted there for a few days. I don't know why. But yeah, that's it. You know, you're a cop, you get popped for DUI,
Yeah.
and then they go all the way through and they say, well, you should have known better. And
Yeah.
especially if you ever work some kind of a DUI team, yeah, they're going to take you to the cleaners. They're going to find all sorts of charges. Wow.
The last couple episodes we've been talking about, actually for the last 2 months, I think we've been talking about all the retail thefts, and there's now a task force that's been put together.
Oh, good. Finally.
Yeah, right. I mean, it took them a couple months to do it, but this is 22.
I think it's because of our last show, Tim. That was our suggestion.
I believe we did say to
go and
task force.
What you do is you take their vehicles, you take their phones, and they're all, because they use those in commission of these crimes. You take all of them, and they become the property of the state.
100%.
All the phones, the cars, the bicycles, and that's it. You don't even got to charge them.
Yeah.
They won't do it again. You just take them. Did you get that from Macy's? That's not your purse. Do you have a receipt? Okay, give me your cell phone. Done. That's it.
They should do it like a 30-day impound, like they used to do for unlicensed driver. That's going to cost them $3,000 in storage fees.
Remember that? Oh, people hated that. That was,
because those cars, and most time the cars were not worth the impound fee, so they basically were losing their car.
Right, it's done. Yeah, and the people 30 days, because that's $500 a day.
I know it's a couple grand when it's all said and done.
Yeah, it was a lot. Yeah, that's right. It works.
Yeah. So
get them in the pocket.
22 full-time officers from LA Sheriff's Department, Glendale Police Department, Burbank Police Department, Beverly Hills, Santa Monica, and the California Highway Patrol partnering up. It'll be headed out.
Los Angeles Police Department, huh?
Yeah, it'll be headed out of the San Fernando.
LAPD.
Yep, San Fernando Valley is where the task force will meet up, because that's where the majority of the crimes are, according to this article.
Wow.
So, and that's needed. I mean, this is a major thing happening here, and this is definitely needed. You can't just have routine, patrol officers responding to these, and then expected some detective to investigate these one by one.
Yeah, there's no way. I mean, so what it's like this. You got the lion that's chasing the prey as they're running away with all the stuff, and then you get the slowest. So that's about it. If you're just come, you and me get the slowest. We got you, lady. You're coming with us. Yeah, that's about it.
Yeah.
No, this is much better. What a good idea. Hopefully they'll do it right, and hopefully they'll, they just gotta hit them where it hurts, man. Take those cell phones. Hey, this is now a property of the state.
Yep. Used in a conspiracy, RICO.
Oh yeah, RICO. That's good. I love it.
I have to keep my RV in storage, and I'm always
mad. You mentioned that they had that one place. Yeah. I'm
always mad when people have RV storage. I've told you to find me an RV storage home.
I'm working on it.
And I know it has RV parking in the front, but I guess this is the downside to having your own storage, is people just come up in the middle of the night, even though you have cameras and lights obviously going off. Just move the chocks.
Oh no, you're shitting me. He hooked up to something that's not his?
Yeah, this guy pulled up, cameras are on, lights are on, moved the chocks, hooked up, and steals his trailer.
Is he gonna drive? Oh,
just drives right off. So that's their camera lights going on off with the motion. Right. But there he goes. This just happened this past week.
And it all comes undone.
Yeah.
That's just brilliant.
And there you go.
What a son of a gun. Wow. Oh, at least he hooked up the brake lights. See it? Good man.
Oh yeah, he hooked up good. Yeah, he got it all right.
Yeah. That's nice. I mean, at least that's safe.
Yeah.
That really sucks.
But look at how good he's just good at concealing his.
Now, his face and everything. Yeah.
I have a question. Where'd the boat go?
Different cars, different place, right? Yeah, different.
Yeah. Why is that? That's very suspicious.
That's not the same trailer.
I don't. Did you notice that? That's our trained eye there.
That's it. We're trained observers.
So we got we have a boat trailer and Tesla on a gate, and then
I'm only a few units away from my doctorate. So
and then suddenly, yeah, this is a totally different location.
Yeah, not the same.
Someone stitched together this video poorly.
This is K-Hits?
Yeah.
God, that's a shame. It used to be such a good radio station.
Yeah, but before we noticed that, look at how this guy knows. Look, he's covering his face.
Yeah. Is that a girl? God, I want to say it might be a female. Got to watch that again.
Oh, look, there's someone else in the car.
Yeah, I bet you the guy is driving, and that's a girl.
The brake light goes on before they get in the car. So yeah,
yep,
someone's hooking up, and there's someone in the car.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
there's at least two, maybe a couple kids back there.
Yeah, this Castaic. I don't know what street
neighborhood.
But, yeah.
And that happened July 21st, 2023 at 3:51. So that's a.m. Wow. Yeah, it looks like maybe a place off of not Haskell, but before you get to it, that first little shopping center before the roundabout.
Yeah.
I forgot what that is.
Yeah.
That looks like that area. Wow, that's a shame.
Yeah, I saw that on there. Yeah, you can have cameras and motion, all that. And if you're sleeping, I mean, we've had the Cadillac Converters, not our car, thankfully, but just across the street, they come in, saw it off, and no one wakes up. The next day when people come out and realize their Cadillac Converter's gone, people say, "Oh yeah, I did hear a noise or a grinding sound," and the middle of the night, didn't think of anything of it. So I guess we just need to be more vigilant in that.
Yeah, I don't know. Is there a way for those trailers to like hook up some kind of braking that they can't bypass, or if you know something about it, is there a way to bulletproof it? It's air brakes, right? Do those brake too, or no?
No, they're not air brakes on trailers. No, it's just a standard.
It's just okay. Yeah. There's just wheels. There's no braking on it. The truck is the one that brakes.
Yeah. I don't know how you would. I honestly don't know how you would prevent that. I mean, they had the chocks there before they took it. They have these devices that go between the two wheels. It's more for stability, not for theft. But I guess it could, if they had like a locking device on there, you could do that. But yeah, I mean, that's pretty much as easy it is to grab these. Just hook up and go. And they obviously, I don't know if they had the when they drove off. If we see brake, yeah. So he had the towing lights, which is smart because you're not driving down the street with this blacked out. And by the way, depending on what direction you go, you got to drive right past the prison. Where the deputy's there.
It'd be just an easy, just put you right in there. Okay, you're coming with us.
Yeah, you know what? Who knows? This could have been a repossession as well.
Yeah, it could have been as well. That's very true.
So.
They seemed awful comfortable.
They did. They did.
That's scary. You and me'd be out there. We would be laughing, like giggling. Oh, it's so exciting. I'm going to get the blocks. Just sit in the truck.
Yeah, I think we'd be dumb criminals. We'd look straight up at the camera.
Yeah. Oh, damn, there's a camera there. Where? And then you look too.
Yeah.
Isn't that Tim and Connor?
Yeah, this is one of those deals where you have to you check with all your neighbors, you try and piece together all the different Ring cameras, right? From all the neighbors, try and catch a license plate
on that truck. Yeah, it looks like that's really something. Yeah, I wonder why at the beginning, that just keeps bringing me back to, I wonder why they have different footage.
Yeah,
why they would do that.
Yeah,
for the first few seconds. Yeah, that's not the same.
No.
Not bad though. I mean,
I wonder if it was another.
Oh wait, what's this?
It must have been another one that they pieced together that they mistakenly stitched together.
Yeah, maybe they didn't do a. It's hard to find good help these days.
Yeah.
God, I want to say that's a female. Are you with me? Look at the hair.
I don't know. It's
walking kind of. God, I'm scared to say feminine. Yeah, we can't say that. Can we say that?
Right. That's fine.
Okay, thanks. Which brings us around to gender, how many genders there are.
No, seriously.
Somebody was I was watching something the other day, and they identified as pansexual, and then it was asked of me what that means, and I said I think that's everything. So you're not just a male, female, but you're everything. Pansexual. Are you looking it up?
Yeah. Well, here I'm gonna. There was someone in San Francisco. I don't know who it was.
Okay.
It's someone who has some clout.
Okay.
Basically said there are infinite genders. So not 4, not 6, not 10. Let me see if I can find it. And it can change depending on. It can change. This isn't it. It can change depending on the time of day. See if we can find that here.
There are infinite genders, only 4 sexes.
Yeah, it was someone in San Francisco. I want to say it was a professor, in fact.
Okay. Well, you got to believe a professor because they have all that education, Tim.
See if I can find it.
They're telling you there's infinite. You got to believe Dr. Diane Erher and stuff.
Here we go. Found it.
It's very German.
He found it. So let's see what this says here.
Wow.
You can even have a gender Tootsie Roll Pop identity.
Huh. Tootsie Roll Pop.
Yeah, this was her. This was her. And let me see if I can find. Here we go.
Oh my God! Do you sleep at night when you find this stuff? I don't understand.
I hear it and I don't pay attention to it because it's just so ridiculous that people in places of authority can say things like this.
You know what? It's because they're not being shot at enough. You start.
Oh yeah, you
having
said
to fight for your life every day.
I think you said pangender.
Proto-gay. Pansexual. Proto-gay.
But this is proto-gay, proto-transgender, gender. Oh, you can be a Tesla. Can you get Can you be the performance model?
You know, I want to be the plaid. Is that what that's called?
Gender ambidextrous. I like that. Oh, it could be a gender smoothie.
Huh.
Yeah, I don't even like talking about this.
No,
it's very uncomfortable.
It's a lot, but I guess it's a lot. It's okay, right? Go ahead, do what you want.
Here's what I say. Don't bother me with it. Do what you're gonna do. Don't bother me with your stuff.
All right. How about this? How about rolling it back? What about the kids? What's that impact on them? Yeah, see, that's a big thing.
Well, there's been a lot of talk about that in the news recently, of all of the states outlawing it. You know, the mutilation and allowing kids, 6, 7, 8 to take,
hormones that
exactly.
get rid of their masculinity or
exactly. Yeah, they had someone testifying in Congress the other day. It was a female, I believe, who took, hormones, and now says it kind of ruined her life, and she wished she wasn't allowed to do that at her young age. So,
the thing is even at 50, I'm 54. Even at 54, I still don't know. So how the hell can I make a decision when I'm 8 or 9?
Yeah.
I don't know. That's maybe they're more advanced. I don't think they can though. I think maybe everything should be held off until they get to 18. I don't know. It's a lot of choice, man.
If you can't drink alcohol, you shouldn't be able to change your identity. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I like that. I think that's good. I think that 21 thing, 18 thing, whatever. I think that's better to go with. I mean, it's like salad dressing.
Or even 18.
Who needs that much salad dressing?
You can't join the military. You can't change your gender.
That's right. I agree.
You got to let. What do they say, like in men or boys, that the medulla oblongata doesn't fully form until like 25?
Did you mean the corpus callosum connecting the hemispheres or the
Why you gotta make
medulla?
it sexual?
Well, oh, I could be corpus callosum sexual. Oh, we're gonna go to hell. Good.
No, we totally are.
That's great. That's
So
great.
there
Wow,
you
I'm
go.
glad we
That's our
segued right into that.
yeah.
Kids can identify as Tootsie Roll Pops. Who would identify as what's that stuff? Brussels sprouts. Do you think there's a kid? Let's interview somebody that identifies as Brussels sprouts.
No.
Because if they can do Tootsie Rolls.
Well,
So tell
Connor,
me about
that's
the
all
divorce thing. Well, hold on. We got to talk about divorce, Tim.
Okay.
Because you haven't covered that. I saw a lot of your shorts. You had a deal in San Diego, and somebody screwed up on the filing because it was being handled by somebody else, and then you got your hands on it. What happened there?
No, yeah, I do. I've been doing a shitload of videos. You know,
Yeah.
it's been pretty successful, to be fair. I mean, I'm doing one every 2 hours from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m.
Okay.
And getting a lot of response on them. I think last week was a little. I think kids going back to school over the last few weeks. You know, people kind of avoid doing the divorce thing.
Sure.
This Monday, let's say Tuesday, yesterday was probably one of the busiest days. I think I had 23 consultations for divorce yesterday, which is a pretty heavy day for me. And I'm just one person in one company in Santa Clarita. So
right.
Just to kind of give, which I thought usually the week before Labor Day is, you know, people are heading in for the last hoorah for divorce. But this week's been busy already, just a busy Monday. And I think next week, after Labor Day, maybe a little bit after, because people are going to go out, you know, maybe they go out Friday, stay out till Tuesday, you know, one day past Labor Day, and then regroup. And then I think that's going to be our last big push for volume of divorce filings. Right. New filings is going to be post Labor Day up until leading up to Thanksgiving. So, but yeah, high volume, and keep in mind, majority of what I do is all amicable stuff. So these are. I'm not taking any business away from the attorneys because they don't necessarily want these cases. These aren't money makers for them. You know, they handle the more litigated stuff. But yeah, that San Diego, you're asking me. Someone had called me and said they're in court in trial.
That was it. Okay.
Yeah, and they said they'll try and they're taking breaks, but. You know, if I could call them because they have questions. And the video I did was basically saying, I don't need to even talk to you because I know if you're in trial, I'm not the guy to help you. That's all that was.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not the litigator. We're not handling those types of cases. So that's all that video was about.
That was the same. And in real estate, somebody's in a transaction with somebody else. I'm not even the agent. They call me, hey, I got a question. Hey, I'm not your guy. Sorry, I can't answer. It'd be unethical for me and probably against the law.
Yeah, and I get a lot of that where people will have attorneys and their attorney's not returning their call or not answering their questions, and they'll call me to get the answer. And I said, look, you either need to fire your attorney or demand they answer you, but don't call around to get the answer because you can't get the answer from your own attorney or they won't return your call. It's not how that's done.
No.
Yeah.
Tell me about your workout. What's going on with that? You still hitting it hard?
Yeah, you know, been hitting it hard. Been doing more strength versus like lower. I shouldn't say lower reps, but I'm staying in a nothing under 8 rep range, and going to failure like we always talk about workout wise. But you know, you're 54. You said I'm 52, and I got my bench back up to about 250. For for chest. So I don't know. I don't feel old, but for 52, I didn't think I'd be benching 250. You know, as a 1 rep max. I gotta be careful because I have my shoulders. I have ripped them a couple times just in various acts, not necessarily working out, but also in working out. I've torn my shoulder. So
yeah, we all have to do that. Yesterday I'm getting off the leg press and I have to put the seat all the way forward so I can climb into it from the top and slide my ass down to the seat so I get the full range.
Yeah.
And getting out of that damn thing, I slammed my right knee right into the pad and it hit so hard that it bloodied it. Yeah. So it hit, the impact was so hard right below my knee. Anyway, you just got to be careful. But no, that's fantastic. So I also, it's weird that we're tied this way. I also started doing heavier weights, less reps, because I was doing a lot higher. Yeah. And I got a pump for the first time in quite a while. doing that super heavy and that 5 to 8 reps
Yeah.
to failure. Yeah, it felt good.
I've kind of the last couple workouts, what I've done just for chest specifically is I've done, a lot of warm-ups. Maybe like I'll do the bar 100 times just to get really, warmed up. I'll stretch the shoulders out and do these guys, to get the joints all warmed up. Yeah. And then I'll do just with a 45, I'll do 10 reps, and then I'll do it with 185, I'll do 10 reps, and then I'll put on 225, then 250, and then I'll go down to do where I'll do just the one rep, but then I won't consider that my workout. Then I'll drop the weight to where I can do 4 or 5 sets of 8 to 10 reps, all in that rep range. And that's where I'll see the pump for sure. Yeah. Not on the heavy low rep, but more on the 8 plus rep.
Yeah, right. Yeah. So it's been good. Do you have a spotter on that?
Yeah, it's called Fear of Being Crushed.
That's a good spotter.
And it does get that last rep out because it's like there's no one at 6 a.m. coming to help me in the garage.
No, they'll find you. They'll find you about 9.
Yeah, and I put the caps on the deal, so I can't dump it. I can't dump the weight because I have those little springs on there to, what do you call them, that hold the weight on so they don't move.
Oh yeah. The collars.
The collars. Yeah. So I can't dump it. So I'm either getting it up or it's.
Oh my God, yeah, because those aren't going to slide off when you go this way. You're stuck. No. Yeah, that's horrible.
Yeah.
Well, fear's a good motivator, Tim. It's working. Keep going. Oh my God. How about diet? What's that looking like?
Well, coming back from the little trip we had, that diet was not a diet. It was a seafood diet. Seafood. I saw food and I ate it.
Yeah. Sometimes, it goes against everything. Sometimes you just gotta do it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've been dialed in pretty good, eating really clean, trying to get that 250 grams of protein in a day.
Yeah.
And then I see all this, don't drink whey. It's tough to get that much protein in if you're not supplementing with shakes. It's tough. That's a lot of food. I mean, I can eat 5 hard-boiled eggs at a sitting with some chicken and turkey and all that, but that's about it. It's just not fun. Just not fun.
Are you doing high fat or you're just doing more protein?
Yeah, so the eggs give me enough fat, and then it's kind of the same thing. So it's ground turkey mixed with spinach and onions and salt and pepper. So make like burgers out of that. The turkey seems to be the best. I like the hamburger. I like steak and stuff, but to really just get that protein in. So it's really keto. It's really low carb, and the more I do that, the more I lean out. Yeah, so I try
to high protein keto.
Yeah, and I still like the fat in there, but it's the 1 meal a day thing as well. So, they say that your body can only assimilate like 30 grams of protein in an hour and a half. So I'm eating everything in that one meal. It seems to be okay. I'm not losing anything, but I'm also, on TRT. So maybe that's holding on to it.
When is your meal, in the evening or morning?
Yeah, usually about 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock in the afternoon.
And you'll do it in over an hour period?
Yeah, usually it takes about an hour to eat it.
Warrior diet.
I won't eat anything else.
I think they call it the warrior diet.
Oh, is that what the 1 meal a day?
They like to put words. Yeah. 1 meal a day within 1 hour. I think they call it the warrior diet.
Well, that would make sense. Go ahead.
I would say I did that for a while. I had great success with it, but I think it's more of a temporary thing because I did feel that I lost strength and like my hormones got all screwed up because I wasn't getting. It's hard, aside from the protein assimilation, it's also hard to get enough calories in.
Definitely. I'm leaner now because of that.
Yeah,
and I'm getting close because I wanted to get where everything would start to tighten. So I'm getting really close. I can see first 2 abs here. Okay. I've never seen that in my life. And I got the obliques coming in here.
Nice.
It's just. But but you're right. After a while, there'll come a point that it's not enough food.
Yeah.
And I'll get too gaunt, and then I'll start losing other stuff. So you're right. Yeah. So we'll play it out, but it just feels good. It feels good to know what you're eating. But I still go to Sabor or wherever and just load up on chips. I'll eat 3 baskets of chips.
Well, that gives you the ability to do that. So
yeah. Or a quart at Cold Stone, a quart of ice cream. Oh, it's horrible. I just love that stuff. But yeah, I'll finish a whole quart. I'll sit there and I'll just eat a quart of Cold Stone.
Uh-huh.
And but again, I won't touch it for a week, 2 weeks. But I never used to be like that. But it's, everything's changed. But it's good.
Yeah.
No, but I'm glad to hear that, you had a little bit of break and now back to the grind. And same here. It's awesome.
Yeah. Yeah. All good.
Well, we'll be back the Tuesday after next.
Okay.
And I'm looking forward to have a guest. I hope I'm somebody lined up now. It's got a local business. Talk about it, and I think that'll be a good benefit for us. Get them on Tuesday after next. So tune in, everybody. Thanks for listening, Tim. It's always an honor, and everybody else out there, please share the show with your friends. Let us know how we're doing. And also, if you want to be on the show, let us know. You got a small business, something to talk about. We'd love to interview.
Have a good day, Connor. We'll talk to you in 2 weeks.
You too, Tim. Be well, my friend. Good job. Bye-bye.